Hello, welcome back. Yes, there's been a lot going on, and that's probably why I've not posted as frequently as I had been, but that's because we're starting to get into some fairly heavy duty work on the property. What I'm doing here, apart from wearing very little clothing, is trying to sift through the soil that I've dug out from the trench that we dug out along the side there. Main reason for that is it was just getting to be a bit of a carbon footprint situation where I'm shoveling it into a truck, putting it into trucks and taking it all back to the tip, dumping it back out again. If I do it with the trailer, then I've got to shovel it onto a trailer and then take it to the tip and then shovel it back out again. So there's a lot of double handling going on, and I thought I would at least utilise what is mostly fairly good topsoil. Soil's actually not too bad, and just repurpose it around the garden as best I could. So a little bit of a great escape moment where I'm just trying to transfer dirt and put it somewhere so people can't see it. But there's a lot of other stuff that I'm having to do as well. You can see these acros to the left of me there. They are also holding up the joists in preparation for the doorway being opened up to allow for a large double French door to be fitted. Had thought that we could maybe get away putting a single door and a window to the side, but then thought, well, if you're going to have a double space, you might as well make use of it as two doors. So I've gone for French doors there. But that meant that in order to get that work started, we needed to get that wall in front of me pointed, and basically that was a conversation with the builder where they said, look, if you leave it like that for too long, it's going to just start drying out and there's a danger that it could start shifting, so get it pointed. So got the first bucket of muck there, and I'm just basically trying to point what is that, starting at the bit that looks the worst. The wall to the left of that wall also is going to need to have the same treatment done to it, but we need to sort of like progress along there first and get that one into a good state. So the purpose of all this is to get some windows put into the house, admittedly on the side that I'm not living in at the moment, but that's just the way it is. Get the door at the back and get the back of the property harled, which is what the trench was dug for in the first place, was to get down to a height where the harling can go. As you'll see as the video progresses, other situations arose that needed me to do a little bit more demolition elsewhere, but for the time being that's where we're at. The whole purpose of all of this is to get the wall that I'm working on now pointed, get the two walls to the left of me prepped, and the outside area prepped for picking and reharling, as well as putting in some holes in there to make space for a door. And the bathroom window on that side is also getting replaced as well. Anyway, hopefully that clears up why I'm sort of jumping around from one room to the other and one activity to the other. Probably worth me pointing out here as I'm doing that you can see that what I'm doing is I'm just chucking the muck all over the rock on the wall. Later on you'll see that the builders take a different approach to that. My thinking being, well, the more it's covered up, the smoother the surface, the tidier it'll look, but that's not very economical when it comes to using the cement. So it's actually preferable to point around the rocks and then fill those corners and those gaps. That's something I picked up when I saw a comparison between what they do and what I do. So that's just a little bit of an explanation as to why I'm just smearing it on. I am actually picking it out and filling in the cracks, but I'm also covering the rocks that are there, because I'm not going to be seeing that wall. There was a lot of discussion as to whether I should whitewash this wall and make it look nice, but then obviously you don't get the insulation in there if you're going to stud partition around it as well. So anyway, that's something you'll notice, is that and I think it's more of a commercially viable option to point around the rocks than it is to try and create a whole render. But I mean, I was going with the principle that I would just render the whole bloody wall, but it would obviously end up costing me a lot more in cement doing this. I should also point out that I am using cement as opposed to lime mortar, but that's just because of the nature of it. It's just quicker to dry. If we've got to get that wall covered in order to make it secure and get the other part of the job started, which is going back and picking off the other wall to the left there. That's that. Right, so I'm going to have to take these down, because in order for us to be able to tackle the harling outside, we need to get a look at the state of the walls, because there's a crack running on the outside somewhere down here. The lime that I've used previously is drying off, but because of the state of the walls, I think I'm going to be using the remaining lime up here to finish off around this. But downstairs I'm just going to have to use cement, because it's just needing to be made structurally sound, and I haven't got time to be. But it is an economic reason as well. Lime's just too damn expensive to get the kind of work I need done. I could do it, but it would take longer and cost more. And to be quite honest, if it was going to be an exposed wall, I would be thinking about it more. But anyway, I'm going to use the remainder of the lime up here, so it's not going to waste. But and I got it for free anyway, so you know, might as well. But downstairs it's going to be a cement, and quite possibly might have to do it along here, depending on what we find here. So assuming I can get this dog to keep his nose out, go on outside, go on out, Corey. We're going to find out what's going on here. I suspect those of you who watched previous ones probably know that was all ship wrapped. Just got to be in on the act. That was all ship wrapped along there, and I suspect it's ship wrapped along here and across the top as well. But I need to be able to get this stuff down and get other doors going on. So that's what we're doing. Okay, the drilling what we're going to find here. Make sure we don't step into this bloody hole. Hoping it'd be enough, but looks like it's going to be. As suspected. Seems to be the fiberboard. Well, as we suspected, there's a bloody great big crack running down the wall that's adjacent to the gable end. The good news is it doesn't look like it's actually impacting the gable end, but as far as being keyed in, yeah, not so much. And it's just butted up against there. That one looks like it might be keyed in. But that's roughly where the soakaway is outside that we found when I pulled up the concrete. So potentially that's what's slowly been causing a bit of a drop. Don't know what the fix for that is. Bloody great big bolts through the gable end into that wall to try and tie it in, or maybe, I don't know. But that's a discussion for me and the builder to have. The wall plate looks in good nick, ironically, although there's about 17 million tons of shit dropping out from there. There's obviously been a bird nesting somewhere, probably further up. I've resisted the urge to start pulling this down because I think I'm going to get covered in shit. And all we really needed to do was see the state of the wall. But yeah, bizarrely, the wall's in better nick upstairs than it is downstairs. Weird. But it does look like possibly there's been some repair work done along the edge here. That looks like an additional bit of muck that's been chucked in there. So when I go downstairs to start taking the plaster off that wall, and that's what we will have to discover. But the good news is the roof rafters seem to be in good condition. Yeah, big job. Anyway. So here we are with the wall repointed by the builders, minus the small piece that's dried there that you can see that I did. And we're ready now to crack on with increasing the size of that doorway. On the outside you will see here that they picked back the harling where the crack was that we discovered from the upstairs room, ran all the way down that side. So they had to put some bars in there to hold it and tie it together to the gable end, just to make it all nice and neat, and reduce any further risk of any kind of collapse. We're a bit uncertain what was causing that crack, possibly the original collapse of the gable end, not sure. It could just be that when I was digging out that trench I discovered what looked like a soakaway underneath there, where the drain had basically just been running straight into the ground, and that might have caused some of the stone to sink a bit. But anyway, you can see the slots where the bars went, and that basically made that side of the wall secure so that we could crack on with the remaining work. So, been a busy week. I'm not sure how I'm editing this together at the moment, but there was a crack running right down this end here from upstairs, so that had to get plugged. So it was builders to the rescue time, which they have done in a day admirably. Well, yesterday. As you can see, they came in and finished off pointing. I've got a wee bit more to do in here just to make this look like an actual wall rather than a pile of boulders. Can you spot the bit I did and the bit they did? I don't know. This area here is me. That was because they showed up with a bucket of muck and just said, here you go, so I just got stuck in. But they've picked out the whole bloody lot and done that. That means I now need to pick back this wall here, take out this door frame, which is why there is now a large piece of OSB sticking there. I've just finished cutting that. It will do. Wee bit of daylight down the bottom, but once I put a frame around the outside it'll be fine. It's only there until they make a bigger hole, because eventually we're gonna have a door that goes roughly to here and down. I don't know if you can see that mark, but that's roughly where the door's got to go, so that stone's got to come out. These are here to support the joists, just in case when I start picking this back, because there's quite a bit of damage either side of that door frame. They're there to hold things up in case it goes south. I have plenty of mortar, a bit more OSB than I need, plenty of sand, muck, and a week off to try and make some progress with it. So yeah, so that door's coming out, so that's why I've just finished cutting that OSB. And then I've got to try and work out what this hearth's going to look like. Where they've picked out, that's all the muck they've picked out. I've already shoveled up one bucket, but I think we've seen enough videos of me shoveling crap out of here. I think I'll have a wee party when I finally lift this carpet. But yeah, it's kind of weird now, there's no light coming through there. But yeah, good. We'll see. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a quick explanation. Right. Well, that definitely means I'm going to need a mixer. I wanted to see what 3-part sand, 1-part mortar looks like. That's what it looks like. I ain't going to be able to mix it in a truck. So I either need a bigger bucket again, or I just use a mixer. The thing is, I'm just doing this. Sorry, just checking I'm still recording. I'm just doing this so that I can point in here. I mean, you can almost get through to the other side that way. Clean all that out. But I thought, as I discovered, the shit is going to get worse as I go down here. So I thought I might start mortaring down now, so that at least I'm keying it as I'm going along. I can't go too far this way because we're going to have to take that wall out anyhow. So really all I want to do is just get the corner tied in, even if it's just that depth there, come around it. I've got a seagull chick outside in the garden at the moment, which is really handy because it means I'm going to get attacked every time I go out there and the bloody thing's near me.